Hello everybody, welcome to the Barbershop. Today I have a guest down here in the Barbershop studios. This is my buddy Cody Grable.
Hey.
He is a prior founding member of Moosebite, the local metal?
Yeah.
Heavy metal?
Yeah. Viking metal, black metal, shit like that, yeah.
I think when we were talking to John Beeman, he said that you guys went with something also called like forest metal?
Nature
metal.
And originally, yeah, because we had a lot of nature themes.
Yeah, like a Chupacabra.
Sasquatch, Dark Forest, Wolves Will Hunt the Sun.
And I love that one. Obviously, that one ties in with Hottie and Skald, the two wolves in Norse mythology.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, what is that? The Fenrir's children?
Yeah, chasing the moon and chasing the sun if they ever catch it. That's
Yep,
when
to put
Ragnarok
them
starts.
for Ragnarok, to put the world into the Midgard into darkness.
Yeah, that's why the sun always sets, because one wolf's chasing it and the other moon rises because the other wolf is chasing it.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
It's a goddamn circle.
Well, absolutely. Everything's going to be circular in this I was going to call it a rotunda. We're not a rotunda. What are we? We're an orb. There we go. So, what, in your own words, really kind of happened to Moosebite? Because even just last night, I got on YouTube and there's one video. It's just audio only for Wolves Will Hunt the Sun. I tried to find y'all on Spotify just to kind of have a good little re-listen.
We had anything on. If we did, it was probably our EP when we put that out. Really, what happened was it was like, well, I'm sure John might have touched on a few things of how Moosebite was going. I mean, and John did awesome in Moosebite. How he got shafted for the singing thing going into Torn Asunder or something else. Because we had talked about it after the interview that you had, because I was giving him shit, and I was like, oh, hey, I heard your interview, man. So it's like, I always give John shit. And fucking, he was originally, when we lost our meth head singer, which that was a great story, but...
Hey, we'll have time for it if you want.
Well, okay, we'll start with that, and what led up to that. We had this singer, we got him off Craigslist. He was a little weird, but at the same time, it's like, okay, he's a singer for a metal band. We could take, not like, he was weird, but not weird enough that we didn't want to hang out with him, if that makes sense. Like, he had quirks. That's what we put it as, I guess. But he was a little strange and whatnot, and kind of did his own thing. He would still sing and would write. But we was getting ready to do a show. I think it was at the Roxy out in Kansas City, I believe, when they moved or whatever. But it was like 5 minutes before we went into the show. He's like, hey guys, we get together real quick. I got to tell you all something. We're like, okay. And John's with the band, and Stephen Quinn was our drummer drummer then. He was with us, and then David Barnes was the bass player. And we're like, yeah, what's up? He comes up, he goes, guys, I'm high on meth right now. I have been for a month, and I've been fucking my meth dealer. Okay.
That's a story right there.
Okay, and we're literally 5 minutes before we get on stage. And
Jeez.
The bass player's like, oh man, we'll figure this out and everything. John, me, and the drummer are like, what the fuck, man? Like, we ain't got no fucking sympathy for you. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, drug addiction ain't a fucking disease. You chose to do that. And it was like, yeah, we had no sympathy for him after that. We still did the show. The show was fucking weird. That was weird. Because, we're trying to do a good performance. We got that in the back of our mind, and it's just like, oh, God, it's tripping out on meth. Like, could we get any more Missouri? Could we do it?
So, had you guys played any additional shows within that month after he had made that confession?
I think that was the last show with him, honestly. Because he kept saying, like, oh, we need to have a band discussion about it. I'm like, no, we don't. No. Pretty much got it figured out.
Yeah.
Like we all smoked weed and drank and shit, but nobody did the hard shit. Like we all discussed, it's like, yeah, no hard drugs. Like, you smoke weed? Whatever. Okay. But, like, if you're up there like, oh, I'm snorting coke, I'm doing meth, like, yeah, no, we're not going to be around that. That just causes a bunch of shit. Unpredictability, for one. And it's just like, no. But he wanted to have this band meeting for, like, 2 weeks, and we're like, okay, we on practice days. Wouldn't show up. And then it just ended up going through, like, we was getting ready to practice at the bass player's house where our practice spot was, and he texted like, well, I'm not in the band anymore. I decided to quit. And we're at that point, we're like, okay, we kind of figured that. Like, we've been jamming, we've been doing like strings practice, what we call it. Since we don't have vocals, we can still practice, write and shit. And then he decides to get in an individual argument with every person through text message, which is hilarious. Because he goes to John, because John told me about this after the fact. And this is the one thing I will give him crap about literally every single time I see him. It will come up. I don't care. But he was going back and forth with Lawrence was his name. And along the lines, like John's just telling him like how it is. And, kind of not standoffish way, how John can, like, he'll tell you what's up, but he doesn't come at you aggressively, really.
He has a level of, like, passiveness.
Yeah, but, I mean, he's still getting his point across. Like, yeah, I get you. The singer comes back with, you got all them muscles and you don't even act like a fucking man. Okay, well, knowing John, that pissed him the fuck off. Like, he was hot. And then John comes. I remember John showed me what it said. I think he still has it on his phone. But roundabouts, it was, well, if being a man means living in an apartment my parents pay for and fucking my meth dealer, I don't want to be one. I was like, oh, fucking got him. So that's how that was. And then we had an argument where he was going back and forth, and I knew I fucking won it because I'm not a small guy. And fucking, he was like, we were going back and forth, and about halfway through, he goes, well, you know what? You're fat. I was like, ooh, fucking nailed me, man. I don't know how I'm going to take recess after this.
Right,
like,
back down to kindergarten.
It was like, what, a fucking third grade insult right here? It's like, dude, you're the one that fucked up being high on meth and not showing up when you fucking said you were. And he's like, you're just like my dad. And I was like, yeah, because he apparently fucked up too. Like, fuck you, meth head bitch. Never seen him after that.
Fucking Missouri. Man, we sure know how to grow him.
I was like, oh yeah, he was fucking weird. But that led up to where John was going to start singing. He'd been kind of doing backing vocals with him at the time. And it's like, okay. And he started actually learning how to sing and play, really, because I don't think he was he was starting to learn to really sing around that time, like how he does with like Torn Asunder now.
Yeah.
And if I remember right, every practice he would go through a few songs, even if he wasn't mic'd, you could kind of see him like mouthing it to kind of get used to playing and singing at the same time. And I remember him asking, he's like, hey man, I can do it. And we were like, me and Steven, we were like, yeah man, if you can do it, awesome, because that's one less person we got to look for. And being like, we know you're a cool dude. That's clearly fine, other than bringing some random person in, because especially how the last one went. And then I think we played a show, and then we ran into David had invited Lucas over. I did not. Steven and I had no clue that he was looking for a singer, because Dave was there when we talked about John doing it. And it's like, hell yeah, awesome. And fucking, we go up there, and it was great, because Lucas is still an awesome dude. I'll still talk to him, and it's like how him and John are real fucking cool too. It's like Lucas is an awesome dude, but when we got there, it's like we didn't know he was there for us. Like he was standing by our merch table, and we was all talking. I'm being loud as fuck. I had a few. I usually have like one or two beers before I drink, but I ain't going on the stage like tipsy or drunk. Cause like I'm gonna try to get up there and play good, and I want to be coherent. But we go up there, it's like, yeah, John's going to be singing for us and all this. Lucas standing right there. Had no fucking clue. He's like, oh, yeah, this is the guy that's going to be a singer. I just, well, ain't that a bitch? And I just went back, like, I didn't talk to him like that whole night. I just bullshitted John, and you could tell John was a little upset, which I get, because I didn't know. Granted, it all kind of worked out for the better, in a way, because Lucas came in, and he did awesome. He did really good. And John went and started Torn Asunder, which the way he left the band, he got muscles, he's a fucking man. Because he showed up to practice and told us face to face how he was feeling, what he wanted to do. And we were like, we get it. I even said, it's like, hey, you came up face to face with us, man. I can't be pissed at you. I mean, yeah, it's fucking shitty how it kind of went. It kind of got like ripped from under you, but I mean, we were still cool. And the fact that he came face to face and said it, like, you know, straight up, talked to us, and it's like, okay. And we just, and even after that, when he left the band and was really doing, Tortoise Thunder really started getting going, we played shows together and stuff. It's like, yeah, like we ain't got no ill will towards each other.
Nice.
It's like, we'll still play. Like, I don't care. But, and then once that kind of went on, and then we had the bass player drama where this dude got caught cheating on his wife.
Rock on, all right.
And he was calling all of us at the same time. John was still in the band, I believe, at this time. I think. Yes, he was. And he's calling all of us to figure out. He's like, hey, man, I need a place to stay. I told him no. Like, no, you're a big boy. You can figure it out because clearly you got into it. Like, you cheated on your wife, bro. Like, you fucked up.
At a minimum, you have somebody that you're diving into. Why can you not go over there?
Well, and they got, she had kids from someone else, but they're like 10. They call him dad.
Oh.
Like, he'd been around for a bit.
Apparently.
It's like, bro. But he said he grabbed a bunch of his shit because he thought he thought she was gonna tear shit up. Mm-hmm. So I immediately call everybody else like, hey, we're going to go get our shit. I get in there, and I'd always been cool with his wife, and she had a few of her friends over there and whatnot, and I was like, hey, you know, we kind of heard, sorry, can we grab our stuff? She's like, yeah. She's like, she wasn't breaking nothing. I mean, because she knew it's like, that ain't our shit. It's like, and I even made the comment, it's like, yeah, she might break stuff, ain't gonna be our shit, gonna be your shit. We didn't do nothing to her. But we went down and got her shit, and we had a locked trunk that we kept our merch in. We kept our money lockbox inside of that.
Oh, from like shows, merch? Yeah, okay.
The trunk was open. Lockbox was open. $500 gone. All the band merch. So we're like, hey, did you grab that? He goes, yeah, I grabbed it because I didn't know what was going on. It's like, really? And then it's like, hey, man, you need to bring that back because that ain't fucking yours. That's ours. And he kind of held it hostage for a couple days, like, because clearly we were all talking outside. It was like, yeah, this is bullshit. Like, no, you don't just randomly take the money and not. Well, at first, I believe he's like, I don't know. It's like, I don't think I took it. And it's like, motherfucker, the boxes are open, like sprawled out. Like, clearly it's open. Clearly it's gone. And it was like, oh, yeah, it's like, talk about like, oh, yeah, I set it up on the fucking fridge top, and it's like, I don't know if I grabbed it. It's like, motherfucker, you telling me you don't know if you have $500 in assorted bills? 20s, 10s, 5s, 1s. Like, you're telling me you don't know if you have that. So we ended up letting him go. We should have waited till we got the money back, but I got pissed. And I was like, yeah, you're out. And he's like, well, I don't think I had it or some bullshit like that. And it's like, so we ended up just chalking it up to like, you know what, fuck you, whatever. And that was how that went.
Write that one off as a gift.
I was like, son of a bitch. Like, come on, fuck on. But, I mean, after that, we went through a bass player. He was all right. We did a couple shows. Like, we opened up for Warbringer at Aftershock. That was a really fun time because I fucking love Warbringer. Like, awesome thrash band. Like, new thrash band. And we opened up for them. Got their bass player really high.
Nice.
That was hilarious. And then we played a couple shows after that, going back and forth between a few guitar players, too. And just kind of more or less fizzled out. And then once COVID hit, it was just like, well...
Difficulty of keeping anybody around, let alone...
Well, that and not knowing at the time. It's like, you know, maybe we should... And then I had my son. So it's like, especially when COVID was first started, it's like, yeah, I don't want to go around if somebody has COVID. I don't want to bring it to my son because nobody really knew at the time what was going on.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. This is going to be part 1. Stick around. We've got more coming for you.